Welcome all to another wonderful video. I hear that you all wanted something scary and powerful for this Halloween. Well, we hear you. At Tablet Games, they did hear you, and they are releasing Baylan's skull on Halloween. Without further ado, let's get right into his kit. So, here we have Baylan Skull's kit reveal. I feel like that with every new character, it's always seems to just be getting longer and longer, and you will see once we get to his leader ability. So, Baylan Skull, Dark Side, Tank Leader, Mercenary, Online Force User. He's been an offense and defensive. Um, Probably can counter Maldus. That would be fun. Soldier of Fortune, so Shin and Marak is going to be required for him. He's just going to be a tank. He's just probably going to be taunting for most of the battle. Stats on stats on stats and stats. So, inspiration of Ahsoka series. Each ability comes from a quote from the show. Probably something he says. I haven't really seen Ahsoka, so yeah, I don't know. Strategies, stats of Soldier of Fortune, so he's going to be the main leader. He's coming out on Halloween, the 31st. So, following characters: Relic 7, Grand Admiral Thrawn. I thought it was just Thrawn. Grand Admiral Thrawn. Did they change the name? And I didn't realize. The Great Mothers, Marak, Morgan Elsbeth, and Shin. He will have a Datacron for round 1 of Epic Confrontation. Link to the forums to get more information. But what we care about are the abilities. That was a mistake on his basic ability. Final test. Deal physical damage to target enemy. If Baylan's turn, he receives 5% health and protection. And all mercenary allies gain 5% turn meter and tenacity up. Otherwise, this stat deals 30% less damage and he taunts for running. So, he be attacking out of turn. That's where we go ahead and get that taunt and 30% less damage. So, he's going. Daniel taunt is basic. Fun. 1 must destroy, cooldown of 3. Dispel all debuffs on all mercenary allies and deal physical damage to target enemy 3 times, stagger them, and inflict defense down, offense down for 2 turns. Baylan taunts for 2 turns, and all mercenary allies gain offense up and potency up for 2 turns. So, I already have 2 ways of gaining taunt. Attacking out of turns on his basic, and this first special. Special 2, power, such as you've never dreamed. Zeta. Omicron, cooldown of 4. And Omicrons are Grangrena. So, this is going to be fun. If you ever fight him. Final test. Deal physical damage to all enemies. Dispel all buffs on them and stun them for 1 turn. Enemies that are stunned lose 50% turn meter instead, which can't be evaded or resisted. Whenever this ability is used, Baylan gains 5% tenacity, and if he has more than 40 stats, a Soldier of Fortune, all mercenary allies gain 20% offense, stacking for the rest of the battle. These effects persist through defeat. So even if he's gone, Marak and Shin are going to be dealing a lot of damage, and we're also probably going to be throwing in Hondo Onaka. He doesn't really have a designated team to go with, but he has a mercenary attack. He's got all their teams. Baylan is going to be a good one. I think. I hope. While in grand arenas, enemies who resist stun from this ability lose 100% turn meter instead, which can't be resisted, inflict armor shred on all enemies until the end of the battle. Whenever this ability is used, all mercenary allies gain 10 speed, stacking 100 until the end of the battle. This effect persists throughout defeat. So, it's already getting a bit crazy here. Unique 1, Master, and Apprentice, Zeta, and Omicron. Fire test. If Shen is an ally for the rest of the battle, Baylan gains 5 stats of Soldier Forward. If Marak is an ally at the start of battle, Baylan gains another 5 stats. So, you already got your core trio, Baylan, Shen, and Marak, to get the most benefits. While Baylan is active, he, Marak, and Shen gain 10% critical avoidance and 20% evasion. Whenever an enemy evades Baylan's attack, he gains 2% offense, stacking for the rest of the encounter, and all mercenary allies recover 20% health and protection. This is going to get a lot longer than what's here. Trust me. At the start of his turn, Baylan recovers 30% health and protection, and he gains the following effects depending on his stats of Soldier of Fortune. 45 stats plus Baylan. While Baylan is talking, he reflects 4% damage dealt to him, which can't defeat enemies. So this kind of reminds me of those conquest modifiers that are for Galactic Republic, where steadfast retribution, where they reflect damage back. So that will be annoyance. 50 stats whenever Baylan attacks an enemy inflict with Purge. He also disposes them for 1 turn. And the only way we're going to get Purge is from Marak. That's if he lands any. 55 stats whenever Baylan stuns an enemy. He reduces their speed by 10. That's 100 for the rest of the battle. I forget how much stats of Soldier and Fortune you can have on the character. That's something we're going to need to look up. While in Grand Arenas, at the start of his turn, Baylan gains the additional effects depending on how many stats of Soldier of Fortune he has. 45 plus stats whenever Baylan is damaged while taunting. He grants a random other mercenary ally speed up for 1 turn. They didn't already have it. 50 stats whenever Baylan attacks an enemy inflicted with Purge. He also reduces their chances by 20% until the end of the battle. 55 plus stats whenever Baylan stuns an enemy. He also increases their cooldowns by 1. So that's going to be some fun times with his Omicron. Unique 2, Soldier of Fortune. Final test. At the start of the battle, Baylan gains 1 stack of Soldier of Fortune for each relic and fire level he has. Whenever Baylan stalls taunts a random mercenary ally, gains 1 stack of Soldier of Fortune. Whenever Baylan taunts a random mercenary ally, if Baylan has more than 3 stats, he loses 3 stats of Soldier of Fortune. Whenever Baylan is damaged while taunting, he gains 1 stat of Fortune. So, already he can gain up to 9 soldiers, stats of Soldier if you have him at Relic 9. So, plus 10, 5 for Shin, 5 for Marak. So that's already 19 stats of Soldier Fortune. He's also losing Soldier whenever he loses. If Baylan has more than 3, he loses 3. So he's losing some, which is kind of a lot like what the Mark Interceptor has for Sith Trooper, believe, where some build he loses his stats swarm. This is kind of reminding of that. At the start of their turns, all mercenary allies gain 5% health steal, stacking and 2% defense stacking for each stack of Soldier Fortune they have until the start of the next turn. Health steal and defense. Offense and a whole bunch of other stuff. So he's getting a bit crazy. And we haven't even gotten to his later turn ability, which is like 5 pages long. That's what it feels like. At the start of the battle, Baylan has 30% offense and gains 20% tenacity. And one status soldier fortune for each mercenary ally, then mercenary ally double their current stats of soldier of fortune. Oh boy! Whenever a mercenary ally gains a stack of ransom, Hondo Naka, all mercenary allies gain 1% defense, stacking until the end of the counter and recover 5% health and protection. Whenever a mercenary ally with health steal up gains 25% critical damage and protection of 50% until health steal up expires. Whenever a mercenary ally is dazed or stunned, they dispelled it and all mercenary allies recover 25% health and protection. So that could be referencing to a BB because he can apply daze. Stunned, Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, Kylo, and all those other randoms. If there is no enemy galactic legends, whenever a mercenary ally is inflicted with fear, all mercenary allies gain 50% bonus mass protection, offense stacking, until the end of the account to recover 50% health and protection, deal true damage to all enemies which can't be evaded, or defeat them, blind them for 1 turn, which can't be evaded or resisted, inflicted with healing immunity for 1 turn, which can't be evaded, dispelled, or resisted. There's going to be a lot more of this, so. Whenever a mercenary ally assists or attacks out of turn, they gain 2 stats of Soldier of Fortune. The first time each mercenary ally falls below 50% health, Baylan install taunts for 2 turns which can't be dispelled or prevented. While taunting, Baylan has 50% defense, 30% tenacity, and retribution until taunt expires. And then, while in Grand Arenas, at the start of the battle, Baylan taunts for 2 turns. If there is no galactic legend Ahsoka enemy, mercenary allies with Nora protection are immune to critical hits and healing immunity, and they expose all enemies to inflict them with healing immunity for 1 turn, which can't be evaded or resisted at the start of each of their turns. And that's only in Grand Arenas. So does it mean Ahsoka might have some Grand Arena Omicrons? Kind of seems weird to give Galactic Legends Omicrons, but also, yeah, I don't think they're gonna do that. That would be kind of crazy if they did. If there are no Galactic Legend enemies, whenever Baylan taunts, he inflicts all enemies with doubt for 1 turn. If Baylan is not taunting, whenever enemy takes a bonus turn, they are inflicted with immunity for 3 turns, which can't be dispelled. Whenever an enemy gains foresight, they dispel it and are inflicted with buff immunity for 2 turns instead. Sounds like a Jedi training raid counter because he gains a whole lot of foresight. Caloran Beck also gains a lot of foresight for the team. Whenever an enemy gains Inspire, reduce all enemies' invasion by 50% stacking until the end of the counter, and all mercenary allies gain 80% defense stacking and 50% bonus protection stacking until the end of the counter. Directly calling out Galactic Legend Ray, and let's use the main one that gives out inspiration to the team. Resistant Hero Finn and Poe can spread it, and I think also grant it, as long as they have it. So, it's going to be fun. Defeated enemies can't be revived, and mercenary allies can't be instantly defeated. Bonus info Baylan install will not be required for Galactic Legend of Ahsoka. However, Rets, well, ARL 7 will be. So, is that a hint to our one of the characters from the Nets set? Let's go ahead and pull that up. Galaxy of Heroes. Pilot 7. So, did they already announce some stuff? Or are we still technically waiting on that. So let's go ahead and bring it over to the game once it's fully loaded, and we will take a look to see what the full requirements, if any, have been announced. I'll go ahead. Okay, so something's just going on. Um, but game's loaded. So let's go ahead. Coming soon. Let's see. So does. Okay, so they haven't announced any new information besides saying Rex is required. I think we kind of already knew that, since a lot of the times the requirements are people that were directly influenced, been with them for a long time. So is Baylan? Nope, no Baylan information is in the game yet. Okay, so he's probably going to be added sometime later today or tomorrow, and then the event will go live on Thursday. So mercenaries. So mercenaries. Here we go. Mercenaries. So they directly referenced Marak, Shen, and Hondo being in the team. So does Shen, you say how many stress soldiers fortune? First, I don't remember if they did say how many stats of soldier fortune you can have, but seems like on Baylan, if he is able to get, what was that, 55 plus, it more than likely would be a max of 100 stats. So that's gonna be fun. Yeah, so we know about 4 out of the main teams is becoming Baylan, Shen, Hondo, and Marak. So the 5th one, we might have to experiment to see who goes on there. Maybe Boba Fett here, because he's not really useful. Trying to think of other mercenaries. Dr. Afro would be a stretch, but we could probably do that. Veteran Smuggler Hound's not used for much. Young Lando's not used for much. Kyle Katarn. Kyle Katarn. What might be. So, yeah. Those are some of our options. So, Marak, Shin, Hondo, Baylan, since Baylan will probably be right down here. Since obviously I don't have Marak or Shin up it running, and neither do I have Thrawn at Relic. Yeah, Thrawn's not even Relic. So you think my Night Sisters would be a Relic too? Nope. Nope. And don't have Great Mothers or Morgan up and running. So, yeah, looks to be what we're working with. Wonder if we might throw in some non-mercenaries. But it feels like with every single new character that comes out, their kits are just getting longer and longer, and they're trying to target specific characters that they can and can't counter. Um, so all we have to do is wait and see and test whenever he arrives. So thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next time for the next video.